You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Thanks for joining us this Friday afternoon. We got an update on Florence. Still a hurricane, but looks like it could go to tropical storm status at the 5 o'clock update. It is still a dangerous storm causing all sorts of flooding concerns up and down the eastern portion of North Carolina as well as inland areas now. We've had over a foot of rain in some places already, and more rain is on the way, and you'll get a look at the satellite imagery here. It's still just kind of sitting around near Wilmington. North Carolina really hasn't moved much at all since this morning. It continues to grab moisture, and a lot of storms from the Atlantic and pile them right into North Carolina right now. That's where the heaviest rainfall has been as of late. Now, as far as the latest goes, and this will be changing at 5 o'clock, the pressure at 971 millibars, that's come up now. Winds are still at 75. That means we still have a hurricane, but as I said, it could be a tropical storm by the 5 o'clock advisory. Gusts are up to 100 miles an hour. It's moving very slowly to the west at 6, and that may be a bit generous, but we are expecting a west to southwesterly wind flow, or at least movement on in through the next 12 hours. And then there's the forecast path and track continuing to slowly move on Saturday and Saturday night, 8 o'clock, not moving much at all right into central portions of South Carolina. And then eventually it does get picked up by a trough and carried off to the northeast. But for the time being, the big concern obviously is the rainfall, and it has been heavy at times. As far as that rain goes, it continues to pile up on into the Atlantic and then move its way right on into looks like Morehead City getting the heaviest rainfall right now. Also near Oak Island, stretching off toward Myrtle Beach, and that rainfall is tremendous at times. As I mentioned, there's some of the rainfall estimates, and you can see the areas of concern right there by Havoc. They've had up to 15.6 inches of rainfall in just the past 24 hours. Well, more on this and let you know about Isaac too. Isaac is weakening, a good sign on that storm down south in the Caribbean, and we'll have our local weather for the weekend, which appears to be pretty dry. Jacqueline, Scott.
Hi, Bob. Thank you. You're looking live at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where Hurricane Florence continues to slam the Carolinas with lashing winds, powerful waves, and heavy rain, bringing the threat of catastrophic flooding. 4 deaths have now been reported. A woman and a baby in Wilmington, North Carolina, died after a tree fell on the house. A female with medical conditions died after trees were knocked in the way of medical help that was trying to get to her. And a 4th person has died after plugging in a generator in Leon County. High winds and floodwaters could knock out power for several days, if not longer. Federal officials say the storm surge will present the biggest challenges, and they've spent days preparing.
We're focused really on safety and security and rescue missions. We have over, I think it's close to 1,300 search and rescue assets, people and assets on the ground, and from South Carolina to the District of Columbia.
Crews on the Suncoast continue to head to the Carolinas to help. Hurricane Florence team members from Lee and Sarasota County sent us these photos of their crews headed to the East Coast. Florida has deployed 5 ambulance response teams to help assist with the cleanup, and utility crews and volunteer teams from the Salvation Army and American Red Cross have also arrived to help first responders there.
We spoke with the Sarasota-Bradenton Hotel Committee about evacuees coming to our area, but they say rather than hotels seeing an increase, there's actually been a decrease in hotel occupancy because of the storm. While Florida's expecting evacuees, many are not coming to the Suncoast. There's been a decrease over the past week as visitors from the affected areas canceled plans to come out of a concern that they might not be able to travel back home if the damage is too bad. And we're still in the heart of hurricane season here on the Suncoast. To help you prepare, you can check out our free ABC 7 apps as well as Principal 2018 Hurricane Guide at mysuncoast.com. In other news today, a neighborhood dispute turns deadly in Northport.
That's right. It happened on Erie Court just after 10 o'clock this morning. Now police are trying to figure out what led to the death of a man accused of regularly causing trouble in that neighborhood. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us live from the crime scene this afternoon to share what we know so far. Erica, what can you tell us?
Jacqueline, Scott, thank you. Neighbors tell me that they left their homes this morning to find dozens of police cars along the street and a body laying in this driveway behind me. Police have identified the man killed as Carl Berryman. Police say he was shot by a neighbor following a dispute this morning. The shooter is being questioned, and right now it's unclear if he will be charged in Berryman's death. Berryman was arrested twice in the last week on gun-related charges. And just moments ago, I spoke to the brother of Carl Berryman. He was at Berryman's home just a couple of minutes ago, and he drove by. And so I asked him about his brother, and he told me that he mainly kept to himself. He was not known to cause trouble, and he actually told me that he was friends with the man who allegedly shot him earlier today. And we'll give you more information on Berryman's past coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 6, and we'll tell you why Northport police are not ruling out the possibility of this shooting being the result of self-defense. Reporting live in Northport, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Erica, thank you. The murder of a Largo toddler has prompted one state lawmaker to push for change over child protective investigators' caseloads. State Representative Chris Latvala says he plans on introducing Jordan's Law. The proposed law would cut the number of cases a child protective investigator handles by more than half. Jordan Bellevue's mother, Cherise Stinson, is accused of killing her son in a moment of rage and then leaving his body in the woods. Court records showed Jordan was removed from a violent home at the age of 4 months. New at 4, a former Lakewood Ranch politician who admitted to lying about having a college degree is now on probation. Melissa Howard agreed to a deferred prosecution agreement today. The state attorney's office says Howard is required to perform 25 hours of community service over the next 2 months and pay a fine to Manatee County. Howard lied about having a degree from Miami University of Ohio while running for a state house seat. After university officials said the degree was fake, Howard dropped out of the race. Jacqueline joins us now, the latest on an addiction treatment center in Bradenton.
Scott, the Bradenton City Council has officially approved that treatment center, but it was a controversial vote because of the building's close proximity to Lee-Com Park in Bradenton. ABC 7's Taylor Torgano is live there now with more details about that facility and what experts in this field think about it. Taylor.
Good evening, Jacqueline. This vacant building is on 5th Street West, less than half a mile from Lee-Com Park. It's that proximity that concerned 2 of the council members who voted against this new facility. But today I spoke with neighbors and experts in the addiction recovery field. They had both negative and positive opinions about this newly approved facility. Neighbors say they think it's great to have another space to help those in need, but they are concerned that it will bring the wrong kind of people to this neighborhood. The experts tell me another facility like this is great if the new owner will be able to fund it privately. Their concern is that this will be another space to help a drug-addicted community that is relying solely on already scarce public funding from the state and federal level. Hear more about both of those groups that I just mentioned coming up at 6 p.m. I'm live in Bradenton, Taylor Torgano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Before the new year, the St. Armand Circle Shopping District is adding a new amenity, speed tables. The Florida Department of Transportation plans to install 3 temporary speed tables in the St. Armands area. Those tables will likely be placed on Ringling Boulevard and Boulevard of the Presidents. FDOT is adding these speed tables in response to business owners who say they've witnessed vehicles speeding, nearly missing pedestrians. There's no word yet on when these tables will be installed. Well, if you're getting ready to hit the Sarasota Farmers Market this Saturday, don't forget that it's not in its usual spot. It's moving 1 street over starting on September 22nd over safety concerns from construction. The shift will not affect market hours, which remain from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., rain or shine. But one new addition is the market stage, where there will be live music, as well as a shaded seating area and free kids activities. The Farmers Market plans to return to its original location when construction and rebricking is complete. The Venice Downtown Beautification Project is making some headway. The sidewalk construction on West Venice Avenue now complete and reopened to foot traffic. Crews are expected to have all of the sidewalks open for the Venice Main Street Wine Walk next Thursday, September 20th. The intersection of Miami Avenue and Nassau Street is also open. Early next week, crews will close the intersection of Miami Avenue and Nokomis Avenue to complete underground work. Drivers may be able to use Ponce de Leon Avenue as a detour around the closure. Well, we just received word about 30 minutes ago, Sarasota County health officials lifting the no swim advisories for 2 area beaches. Those advisories had been in place for the Venice Pier Beach and North Jetty Beach. But health officials say new test results show it is safe again to swim in those areas. Still to come on your Suncoast News at 4, we'll have your first alert forecast and the latest on rescue efforts underway in the Carolinas. And a girl in South Carolina not letting the storm get her down. We'll show you the Hurricane Florence challenge that's now going viral. Plus, a wild police chase in Chicago ended with 2 people in custody, including one man police had to coax out of Lake Michigan.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
We continue our Hurricane Florence coverage. Here's another live look at New Bern, North Carolina, where Hurricane Florence has caused flooding. This is along the beach area, trapping some people in their homes. And the formerly calm streets of New Bern looking more like the ocean today as waves reach first-floor windows. It's now a life or death situation as emergency officials work around the clock to those overwhelmed by rapidly rising waters. 200 residents have already been rescued, 150 were still trapped. Nearby Jacksonville High School was submerged by floodwaters. Now, New Bern is at the confluence of 2 rivers which overflowed their banks because of the storm surge. And according to officials up and down the Carolina coast, it's going to take a while before conditions radically improve.
A lot of trees down, a lot of power lines down. We got shingles flying off of roofs right now. Hurricane Florence is definitely letting its impact show right now.
In Riverbend, North Carolina, swift water rescue teams are out looking for people who need help escaping the rising water from Florence. The town manager said the main road flooded with 4 feet of water overnight. And then there's the video of people being rescued by boat as floodwater continues to flood the streets there. FEMA officials saying it's not close to being over.
Our garage door didn't make it.
People in the Carolinas are not only dealing with flooded streets, but no electricity. Hundreds of thousands of people across the South and North Carolina are without power, and that number is likely to rise. Authorities are warning people to prepare for days and even weeks in the dark. Apple is doing its part by donating $1 million to the American Red Cross to support Hurricane Florence relief efforts. Apple CEO Tim Cook announcing this morning of that donation. Apple most recently accepting Red Cross donations to support wildfire relief efforts in Northern California last month. Last year, Apple donated $5 million to Hand in Hand in support of Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma relief efforts.
Stand by.
Let's get to Jacqueline now for a look at what's trending. Jacqueline?
Scott, this teenager didn't let the biggest hurricane of the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season stop her from going viral in South Carolina. Take a look.
Coming, and she's a thick little mama, about 300 miles long, and she's coming full speed.
Thought you changed the weather, start a little storm, make a little rain, but I'm gonna do one better, hide the sun until you pray. I'm a tornado. It's a hurricane. Looking for a soul to take. South Carolinians to take.
More than 420,000 people have evacuated the Carolina coast, but a young woman named McKaylee McDougal of Sumter, South Carolina, took a cyclone of a social media challenge and made it her own. It's a remix on Drake's In Your Feelings challenge, except she chose Little Big Town's Tornado. Well, police in Chicago spent some time at the beach recently, but it wasn't for fun in the sun. Instead, it was for someone on the run. A man who police say was suspected of robbing a cell phone store at gunpoint led the cops on a chase before jumping into Lake Michigan in an attempt to lose them. It, of course, did not work, and officers just waited until that man came out of the water. Well, Saturday is International Red Panda Day, and in timely fashion, the Milwaukee County Zoo is announcing its newest addition. The adorable female cub was just 6 ounces at birth and now weighs about 5 pounds. These animals are endangered, making every birth cause for celebration. Now, you can probably tell these little guys aren't closely related to giant panda bears. If you noticed, Mom's tail has rings like a raccoon. Now, red pandas are actually a part of their own unique animal family. Let's check in with Bob for a look at our forecast at this hour. Bob?
Thanks, Jack. And with this storm, Florence, there are a lot of times you don't get the information right at first, but then a couple days later, you really see how devastating it has been. Let me tell you right now, at Cape Fear, they have had the highest storm surge, more than Matthew, more than Hazel back in the 50s as well. With the highest storm surge there. On top of that, over, I think up to 20 inches of rain has fallen already. Estimates are a little bit lower than that, but generally speaking, that rain has been going on all day long. And it's not going to stop tonight. More storms will develop out in the Atlantic and push on in. So this is a recent forecast from the European model, still indicating the potential for at least 15 to 20 more inches of rainfall into South Carolina and into the southern portion of North Carolina too. So it's not over by any stretch. And with that center so close to the Atlantic, it still will draw in that energy from the Atlantic and push it on shore. Now, we've been watching this system. This is Isaac. It was looking pretty healthy this morning. A lot of deep convection developing. Also, this does not have much of a chance to develop as it makes its way toward Texas and Mexico. You can see this thing kind of splitting up and then firing up and then splitting up again. Right now, it's a tropical depression, but it's soon to open up into a tropical wave, we do believe, simply because there's too much shear out ahead of it, and it's not going to survive. Here is a look at the latest European forecast model on Isaac as it makes its way to the west. It's still a closed low right there on Sunday morning, and then as it moves off, it kind of opens up into a wave. There's maybe some indication of a closed low, but really by the time it reaches the western and central portions of Cuba, it should just be a little bit of moisture, but it is moving in our direction. That moisture will increase our storms, I think, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. So we'll get a little bit more tropical moisture into play. Here's the latest now, moving to the west at 16. So it's still moving pretty fast. Top winds down below tropical storm status. You have to be at 40 for it to be considered a tropical storm. And then there's the forecast. It actually has it dissipating here on Monday as a tropical depression, kind of opening up to a wave and then pushing off, generally off to the west, northwest, and some indications are that moisture will move on in to the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Not much moisture to talk about here right now. We've had a few isolated showers here and there. Most of the action pushing off to the east and really not pushing much at all. Get a look at this. We had some rain near Northport, El Jobin, and Tarpon Point earlier. That storm activity kind of on the wane now as a result of some dry air that's in place. And the bigger picture, again, as we zero out, is Florence continuing to spin, continuing to bring these periods of heavy rainfall into the Carolina coast and places inland now, too. I read some National Weather Service out of Wilmington reporting flooding at historic levels anticipated on Sunday and Monday. So it's going to take a while for all that rain to rush down into the rivers. And they are suggesting that parts of I-95 will be flooded over into North Carolina if it hasn't already. You can see that the line of storms continues to work into an area that's already had over a foot of rainfall. And more on the way. As far as estimates go, as I mentioned, over 16 inches estimate. For us, we have some dry weather in place. It's 88 now, and the heat index at 100 degrees, so it's very hot here. For boaters tomorrow, west winds at 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet, and a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast then, 20% chance for showers over the weekend. Should be a nice weekend. Temperatures into the upper 80s, which is fairly close to seasonal averages. Then that moisture starts to move back in Tuesday through Friday of next week with a good chance for scattered storms. So be sure to download our ABC7 First Alert Weather app for all the latest information when it comes to hurricanes, tropical systems, and severe weather too. This winter, by the way, promises to be very active with severe weather due to El Nino. Scott?
Thank you, Bob. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a graduate from the Ringling College of Art and Design in LA hopes to bring home an Academy Award.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
A film created by a Ringling College of Art and Design graduate could be in the running for an Academy Award. On Wednesday, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences voted 19 student winners in the 45th Student Academy Awards, including a film called Re-Gifted, created by Asa Shukla. Shukla is a 2018 Ringling graduate and won in the Domestic Film School animation category. Here's a sneak peek. She says the film is about a decorative object that struggles to lead a meaningful existence as it gets stuck in the cycle of re-gifting. She'll now go up against 2 other films during the Academy Awards. We wish her the best with that. All right, let's get back to Jacqueline in the newsroom with a quick look at some of the other stories we're working on tonight.
Scott, Representative Vern Buchanan stopping by the Small Business Administration to talk loans for small businesses that have been affected by red tide. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll have all the details you need to know about applying for one of these loans and the requirements that need to be met. And at 6, volunteers from the Suncoast are in the Carolinas to help with the devastation from Hurricane Florence. We'll tell you how you can help right here at home. Let's get a final check on our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, recapping, we had it at the top of the news. This is, looks like it could be the last hurricane. This has been a hurricane or a named storm for over 13 days now. That's the same as Irma was last year. This is the most powerful storm of the season, obviously, thus far, the first major hurricane really to have an impact on the United States this year. And it wasn't a major when it moved in, but it certainly was as far as storm surge goes. As I mentioned earlier, at Cape Fear, they've had the highest storm surge they've ever recorded since Hazel. It actually beat Hazel's mark, well over 8 feet there. We are looking at the pressure coming up, 971 millibars. Already over 15 inches reported as far as rainfall goes, and more rain expected tonight. The forecast path and track take it off to the west. It'll start to speed up, but that really won't happen until after Saturday evening. So it's going to be kind of hanging here. Even as a tropical storm right here over land, it will continue to bring showers and storms periodically throughout the same area that's already been inundated by heavy rain over the past 24 hours. So it's not over by any stretch. And the satellite imagery showing the story here, this is from this morning. It really doesn't move much at all. It just kind of hangs right there by Wilmington. And with the rotation like this, it picks up all the moisture across the Atlantic and then just continues to dump it right over an area that's already seen, as I said, over a foot of rainfall and more on the way. Well, much more coming up at 5 on all the tropics. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. And thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We'll see you again in 30 minutes.